All right, we are on air again. It is not me this time. It is Comcast. It is definitely Comcast. So we're going to keep trying this. We were talking about
Sunset Overdrive. Let's move on.
Yeah. Dead Rising. And we were talking about Dead Rising.
Oh, that's right. Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that.
Okay. Harmonix, Alex Rogopoulos came out. Dance Central, October 21st, for that they're going to release Disney Fantasia Music Evolved. Meh. And
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What
so
have
if
heard?
you have a Kinect and an Xbox One, that might be a game that you want to look into.
Yeah. And then in September, they're going to release Dance Central Spotlight, which is a digital download only on Xbox. And then we had Lionhead, game director of Lionhead, David Eckelberry. Fable Legends. They gave us finally a look at what Fable Legends is going to be. It's going to be 4-player co-op.
I still don't know what that game is.
I still don't know either.
Is it an RPG? Is it like a co-op dungeon keeper type of game?
I would imagine it's kind of like Fable, but with 4 people now. And you have Sterling, Winter, Rook, and Inga.
But that wasn't like a Fable thing that they showed off. Like it looked like a very directed dungeon because you had someone playing the villain.
Right, you can play the villain. So it's when you're the villain, it's from above the map, and
it's like an RTS game.
Yeah, or it looked actually more like also like a tower defense. Mm-hmm. In that you can see the 4 players going through the map, and then the villain goes in and sets things off as you're walking. Sets up stuff beforehand,
yeah,
and then
so like you can't do that in kind of like an open world, a typical Fable open world. Like that seemed like a dungeon. Like that looked like a multiplayer mode.
Yeah. I would imagine that villain character is probably going to be played on a tablet device. Much like
that could be.
Yeah, much like Watch Dogs or any of the other stuff that's coming in, or even Battlefield, that you can have a 4th person, but instead of that person playing with you, it's playing against you. The outcome is apparently variable depending on what skills you focused on or what traits you exhibited during the fight. And there's going to be a multiplayer beta in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Then they went into Project Spark, multiplayer co-op, and they're going to add Galaxies, and Conker I got the sense that he's available now in Spark, so Conker can be a character within your Spark games. And
he can, because the Spark beta is going on now.
Okay, yeah, so I'm assuming that they are throwing that in right now.
Such a weird character to put in there. Mm-hmm. Who remembers Conker except for me, who actually liked Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Right. I don't know. It seems like Project Spark's doesn't. Maybe because it doesn't translate well to someone who hasn't played Project Spark, but it doesn't seem like it's a fully formed idea. It's like a really good beta theory.
I feel like, it's kind of like Little Big Planet in a way. Mm-hmm. But it's also the kind of thing that, like, I think it helps to get your hands on it, and it very much depends on the community.
Right.
But
yeah, it's not a console seller. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah. We got one person back. Yeah, this is part 3. Kevin Boulware's in the chat room, and he's like, "This is a false title. It's part 3." Yeah, part 2 I think got hosed. Like that whole recording that we did is part 2. Just Comcast is not my friend today. And then let's see. The next thing they did was Moon Studios with a side-scrolling platformer called Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, that looks like it could be okay.
It reminds me a little bit of Journey meets Limbo.
There's a game we can talk about.
What?
The game by the Limbo guys.
Okay, yeah. That's coming up. Anyway, Ori and the Blind Forest, fall 2014. I'm kind of pissed off at Spike because I watched it on Spike. So, of course, they're showing this trailer, and they get to the point of, like, when this trailer gets really heartfelt with this little, like, almost like a white kitty cat. And his owner looks like dies, and then Spike pulls back and shows the room, and it's like, oh, look at all the lights in the room. It's like, fuck you, Spike.
That wasn't Spike. That was everything.
What the
that was
really?
The live stream.
What? Whose bright fucking idea was that? Just at that moment in the trailer, they pull back, take away from the trailer, and show us the audience.
There's a moment like that in Assassin's Creed where, like,
yeah,
you're standing up on a ledge, and as the guy jumps off the ledge to kill someone down below, it cuts away to show a guy playing. You're like, motherfucker.
Right. It's anyway, yeah. The live stream left a little to be desired. That person needs to be fired today. All right, and then of course the big announcement, the big announcement. Halo 343 Industry, Bonnie Ross from studio head of 343, came out and announced Halo 5 Guardians, obviously in 2015, which we all knew about. But what's going to come out, the big announcement was that Halo is the Master Chief Collection, which is going to Xbox One. It is going to be, in preparation for Halo 5, they want you to be able to have access to all of the previous games, since apparently this is going to be very personal about Master Chief, very personal about not only his past and his present, but his future. And so they want you to really grok him. So they are going to release the Halo Master Chief Collection, which is Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4, all at once, 100% unlocked. It is going to be every map ever released on all of these games, all running on their original engines, all of them in 1080p, and with dedicated servers. And there's going to be you're going to start with a 4K gamer score. In addition, the Halo 2 portion of it is getting an anniversary treatment since it's the 10-year anniversary of it. They're retouched the full game.
Wait, back up.
What?
It's really been 10 years since Halo 2 came out?
That's what they said. It's a 10-year anniversary of that. I'm going to trust them at their word. I did not do the math.
I got to look this up. Okay, keep going.
All right, so the Halo 2 is getting the anniversary treatment. The full game's retouched. It will contain original Halo 2 multiplayer as it shipped. You can, and it's all, tidied up and brightened up. But in addition, if you want to play it old school, you can actually flip back and forth into the old school mode as well.
Man, it has been a decade.
Yeah.
It's a decade.
Yep.
I suddenly feel old.
Right, and it's coming out with 100 multiplayer maps.
That seems like a really good deal. Like, it's kind of nice. The thing about Halo is that it's been weird since it's like it's existed across all of the consoles,
mm-hmm.
and that's always annoying and problematic because it means it's hard to go back and play the first one. So it really is nice to have everything combined into one console, one disc, like just for like archival purposes.
Right. And it's coming out November 11th. And honestly, as someone who was never really into the Halo franchise, that's almost tempting for me because I know that I can go all the way through it because it's a unified interface. It's a single interface for all 4 games. It's going to be on one disc, which is crazy to me. But
yeah.
When
you think about how, like, wow, those games took up one disc back then.
Right. It says a lot about the technology, about the discs, about the compression, about everything.
Yeah.
How it's advanced over the years. How small those games are by comparison now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of cool that I can go back and play all these games with everything fully unlocked. And I think that was always kind of it was a deterrent for me to ever go back to start the Halo series to kind of get into it because I had to unlock everything and play it, grind through the whole thing.
Unlock things. What do you mean by unlock things?
I would imagine all the guns are unlocked, all the maps are unlocked. That they just said
But, like,
everything unlocked.
Yeah, you're right. They did say that, but when I think about it, Halo never locked anything behind things. Like it didn't have levels like Call of Duty.
Mm.
And I mean, I guess obviously the levels were locked. Maybe that's it. Maybe you can choose any level to begin with.
Maybe that could be it. So yeah, I kind of like the idea that I can do that and kind of get the cliff notes, or at least the easy mode, to be able to go back and go through all of these so that I can really understand the Halo Chief story. So, in addition to all of that coming into the Master Chief Collection, Halo Nightfall, the digital series, will also be with the Master Chief.
That's weird. I thought that was going to be like
collection?
something on Xbox Live.
Yeah, no, it's going to be part of the Master Chief Collection. That's the one that's done by Ridley Scott. They're going to have a Halo 5 Guardians beta in December. So in November, you get the Master Chief Collection with everything in it, and then in December, Halo 5 beta Guardians beta. So you can kind of jump into that. I'm assuming that if you buy the Master Chief Collection, it will allow you access to the beta. They didn't say that, but I got the feeling that that's what they meant.
Probably.
Yeah. So then the next person to come out on the stage was Phil Spencer, who's the new head of Xbox. And he went over there, and he made a point of saying that all the games that you were seeing there were all going to release this year, the holidays of this year, up until this point. Then he went into the 2015 portfolio with the ID at Xbox program, which is the independent indie games program, so that developers can self-publish, essentially make it a much easier way to get onto Xbox for the smaller studios. And they made a point of saying that, it allows up to 8 players so that people can actually make fairly robust games, or at least have fairly robust games put onto the Xbox. And then they went over a slew of titles that are set up for ID at Xbox.
The one that immediately stood out to me is the one called Cuphead.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
It looked like like not a 50s cartoon, but like a real early, almost like Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
Just like the way the colors were, the way it was animated. Like, I looked at it and thought, wait a minute, is that a game? How is that possible?
Yeah. Yeah, I have
no idea what it plays like, but I want to play it just for that style.
Yeah, and they went through all these games crazy super fast, some of which we're familiar with, some of which I've not heard of. There was Aztez, Night Squad.
I can't remember.
I wrote everything down super fast. Plague Inc., White Knight, Earth Clock.
Oh, yeah, Plague Inc.
Plague Inc.
From the console.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Cuphead, Drifter, Lifeless Planet. I had to write down everything super fast. Slash Dash.
I'm really excited for the one that they showed off in detail. The Limbo one.
Right. Fru, Lovers in a Dangerous Time, Mighty Number 9, Grave, Threes, Phoenix something, Wolf, iDarb, Hellraid, and Below. Which one was the one that was the Limbo one? Was that Below?
It's Inside.
Inside. That's right. Yeah, well, that comes up later. Then they
let's get to the good games already.
All right. Well, yeah, Inside looks... Well, we might as well talk about Inside. Why not? Inside.
I thought what's interesting is that the backgrounds look kind of super realistic, but then like the characters in the foreground kind of looked more stylized, like Limbo.
Yeah. And
it made for a real nice mood. Like the characters kind of looked like they didn't quite fit in the world. And the whole... Again, those Limbo guys...
Everything in grayscale except for the person that you're playing, which is obviously a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm curious to know what the premise is, because from the looks of it and from the name of it, it almost sounds like, post-apocalyptic, but not in a gruesome way, and kind of like that black and white beautiful destruction way.
Well, like, I mean, you could clearly see like a bunch of people kind of out of it, almost like there's a literal factory line of humans,
right?
Just kind of being drugged and out of it, and so kind of one of those like dystopian futures.
Dystopian future is a better way to say it. Post-apocalyptic, yeah, dystopian future where you've got people that are animate, they are inside, looking outside through the glass at another world that is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Then right after the ID at Xbox, they went into Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I am excited because I love Tomb Raider, but God, that's a stupid name.
Why?
Rise of the Tomb Raider? Like, I mean, really, you can't have an origin story in Tomb Raider and have the next game called Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, they've done the Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Well, that was like the origins, and then that makes sense. You have an origin, and then you have a rise.
Still, it's just kind of a dumb name, Rise of the Tomb Raider. It sounds like a monster movie.
Kevin Boulware says Rise is a horrible name.
I hope they change it by next year. They got plenty of time to come up with something better.
Yeah. By the way, in fact, Kara Cotton in the chat room just mentioned it that Phil Spencer was wearing the Limbo T-shirt last year. He wore an Undead Labs T-shirt. I wonder if it's like some kind of bonus. Like all the studios send him a T-shirt. And it's like, what's he gonna wear? What's he gonna wear?
I think he also wears the T-shirt of the show he's gonna introduce next, because he wore the Limbo shirt before he was introducing Inside.
Did he change his shirt? I wasn't looking.
No, he changed. Yeah, he changed it.
Oh, I didn't notice the changing of the shirts. Mr. Quick Change back there.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing that they started to really get into the meaty games with Rise of the Tomb Raider, obviously that one, and then of course this is the one that Nick really wants to talk about, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. CD Projekt Red's John Memus and Konrad Thormashevich, Thormashkevitz, I could never pronounce his name, looks effing awesome. And the thing that got me most excited was when they said you can traverse every viewable space in the world. So if you see mountains in the far distance, you can walk to those mountains and traverse those mountains.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a huge game.
It is, and you got a sense of that in that demo because you were chasing a griffin.
Mm-hmm.
So what you did is you shot it so it was bleeding, and you followed its blood, and you're just chasing it through these swamps, through this forest, through a swamp, and you kind of saw the land change from a kind of mountainy green region to a more heavily wooded region. And what struck me is that the combat seemed a lot faster than it does in Witcher 2. And I don't know if I like that or not. I'll have to play it to see how it feels. But it looks like a much more action-y way of fighting. Because Witcher 2 was all about... It was almost Dark Souls-esque in that, when you swung your sword, if you missed, you shouldn't miss. And, you had to be really careful about how you dodge, how you attack. And this one, since everything moves a lot faster, I don't know if it'll have that same tension or strategy to it.
Right. It's I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Did you play Witcher 2?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. In fact, you were the one that made me, when Witcher 2 came out on Xbox, I bought it, and it was great. I was disappointed in myself that I missed Witcher 1, but you said, don't bother. Witcher 2 is much better.
You don't have to play it.
Yeah. All right, my pings are starting to go up, but so far so good. We're not losing anything yet. Then they brought out Ken Lobb, the creative director, who had done Killer Instinct in the past and made a big deal about how we're bringing the next game out. And, well, let me just show you the trailer. And it was Phantom Dust, which I've never heard of. But then again, rebooted games for me are kind of a challenge because I had the big dead space in my life when I didn't play games and I missed out on so much. Are you familiar with Phantom Dust?
It was an Xbox original game. I don't know much about it. I know that it is kind of a cult favorite.
Uh-huh.
So seeing it here is kind of like, wait a minute, you brought that back? What? How? Okay.
Okay.
So, like, that's what I know it has. I know Phantom Dust has kind of like the, kind of like Chrome Hounds. Think of it that way.
Oh, okay.
Like a kind of, lesser known kind of cult favorite game that you never expect to see anyone ever touch again.
Mm-hmm. But leave a warm, fuzzy spot in the hearts of people who played it because they really loved it.
I assume so.
God, Chrome Hounds, man, you mentioned that. Man, I missed that game.
See, now if they had a new Chrome Hounds trailer, you'd be freaking out.
Oh, I'd be freaking out.
Like, I'm sure some people are freaking out about that.
Oh my God, I miss Chrome Hounds so much. Yeah. All right. So yeah, now I when you said that, I'm like, okay, I get that now. So yeah, Phantom Dust. And for those of you who are really into Phantom Dust, you'll be very excited. No date on that. Finally, then we get to Massive Studios, Ryan Barnard, talking about Tom Clancy's The Division, due out in 2015.
I bet you that's going to get delayed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be delayed. B, call me jaded, but they're all kind of looking the same.
I mean, it does. I'm still not sure what that game is. Because I don't know if it's an MMO. Is it a single-player open-world game?
It looks like I don't think it's an MMO. It's obviously multiplayer, squads of 4.
Except it doesn't seem like there's any type of single-player component. Because everything they've showed off is multiplayer.
Multiplayer is a good point. But one of the things...
it seems like the way they presented it is that you and your group are going around this world kind of taking over certain home bases.
Right. Well, you know the premise, right?
I knew it, and then I forgot what it was.
A terrorist group has released a virus into New York City on Black Friday, on Black Friday. And so this is, of course, the day after, and that's why you were shooting all those guys, is that's part of the terrorist organization.
It's a lot of terrorists.
Yeah, and it's probably a combination of terrorists and survivors.
Yeah.
Of this virus that has killed everybody. What was kind of cool is that it went into the subway, and that you could kind of get the memory signatures of what happened there, and focus. You could see like the female character, or not character, the female player kind of said, "Oh, it looks like everybody panicked when they got out," and you could kind of see these red marks of people getting off the subway train and freaking out, just like a picture in time, but just kind of shadows. And then you could focus on each of the shadows and see who they were, kind of like Watch Dogs, where you could identify each of the shadows and go, that's such and such a, Robin Jones and her kids, and she's been missing, and you got a little bit of bonus points for identifying that person and knowing where that person was, because that person was missing. Yeah.
That's a cool aesthetic feature.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much it'll play into the game.
Eric Cotton says he wants a Voodoo Vince sequel. But he also says that this thing looks better than Watch Dogs. I agree. I actually think that I prefer this than Watch Dogs. But then again, we're all starting to get into like one same thing, different day.
See, I disagree. As disappointing as Watch Dogs is, and I'm still playing more of it, I think at least Watch Dogs tries in some way to be more than a military cover shooter.
Right.
Like, it has a little bit extra, and it's unfortunate that it falls back so hard on the military action cover shooting, and that's what makes it disappointing.
Right.
This one is just all military cover action shooting, and it doesn't try to do anything else.
Right.
So.
Next one up was Hideki Kiyama from Platinum Games, and introduced Scalebound, which was...
Platinum is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know about skill. That just looked weird.
It's kind of like it was like How to Tame Your Dragon. It was you and your dragon fighting other dragons.
I would totally love a How to Train Your Dragon game. That is such a great show. That would be so awesome to like actually have a dragon and train it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, like a dark and gritty How to Train Your Dragon game. I'd be down for that.
But Kevin Bulwer says, as soon as Platinum Games icon was shown, I knew I was buying an Xbox One. Oh, you're such a fanboy. And Kevin Bulwer also says that EA's press conference has begun. Unfortunately, I can't watch EA's press conference, so I don't know if you heard this earlier. I actually have to leave, and Goalie is not around. He had things come up as unexpected things, which is why he isn't here. I got invited to the Bloomberg Next Big Thing conference, and so I'm actually going to go out and fly drones for like the heads of Virgin Galactic and other people like that. I mean, like the moneyed elite. They want to see our drones, so I'm going out there today. In fact, I should be leaving in 30 minutes, but I haven't even showered. So, but then, all right, next one, CloudGen. David Jones, co-founder of CloudGen and the original game creator for this game, and announced Crackdown 3. And I really wish Goalie was here to see
either
it.
of the two Crackdowns.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Hey, Goalie, I'm glad you're on. Crackdown 3 got announced.
Except I played Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4.
Saints Row and Crackdown are different.
Are they really?
Yeah. Crackdown's awesome. In many ways, they've got some similar mechanics, but I would call them very different. So yeah, Crackdown 3, very super excited about that. It looked great. And then finally, the close-up of it was actually kind of one of the most telling things of this event. Phil Spencer came out and pretty much, without saying I'm sorry, apologized for the Xbox One.
And now God, he's like, thank you for speaking your mind. Thank you for letting your voice be known.
I had to go back and write down the quotes. We will continue to listen to you and make Xbox for you. Thank you for making your voice heard.
I feel like, he should have just got on a knee.
That's right. And so it was about as close to an apology as you will ever get from a major corporation. It was pretty much saying, we fucked up last year. We got our ass handed to us. We'll never do that again. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please forgive us.
But you know what? What I kind of loved about it, and what's almost so okay, bear with me. There's a scene in the episode of The Walking Dead where you're talking to this sort of despot leader of this community, and he says something like, you have to help me to forgive you. And I feel like that's almost what Microsoft is like, thank you for helping us make the future of gaming. It's like, wait a minute, are you taking credit for this? It's like you're apologizing, but you're doing it in a we're awesome type of way. We're
still awesome. No, I got the feeling that was as a heartfelt, we fucked up.
I feel like it's as heartfelt as a corporation
is ever going to get
doing can be.
I've kind of felt a little bad for him, tail between his legs, beaten down. It's like, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I didn't mean to get into the cat treats.
It would have been so much funner if it was Don Matrick out there.
And everybody, we want to say thank you to Don Matrick for helping us see the way for the future. Doing exactly what you don't want us to do.
Yep.
Whatever you say, do exactly the opposite. All right, so that was it. Overall, I'm a lot more excited about an Xbox One this year than I was last year at this time.
Yeah, ditto.
I think that the big winners on this for me was Crackdown, Witcher 2. I'm sorry, Witcher 3. Definitely. And I think the other game...
showing Dragon Age gameplay over to EA.
Oh, yeah, well, I would love to watch that right now, but I really have to get going. And I think the other big...
Commander Shepard makes a cameo.
Really?
No. I just wanted to see. if I get you.
And Sunset Overdrive. I would say that those are the obvious, what I would say is huge winners. The ones that I did not expect that were kind of sleeper hits in my mind was Ori and the Blind Forest. Even though, despite the the live stream abilities of Xbox, I actually am kind of looking for that. And for me, and I know that sounds kind of weird, the sleeper hit for me is kind of Halo, the Halo Master Chief Chronicles or Master Chief Collection, because I'm not a Halo fan. Now, I know that would be like, it's kind of weird to have a huge title like that be a sleeper hit for me, but I never thought that I would be interested in Halo, and I'm interested in Halo now. So it did its job.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm probably most excited for at least Xbox exclusives is Sunset Overdrive and Inside.
And and Inside. Inside would be a sleeper hit. Yeah.
Because I thought Witcher and Dragon Age and Assassins all look great, but those are coming out for all consoles.
Right. And on top of it, you would think, you kind of expected, they didn't surprise me. There was nothing surprising in those. Whereas those other ones I was surprised. And I was surprised by the Halo 5 one. Or the Halo Master Chief Collection. So, all right. Well, I apologize for the crappy technological issues that we had. Sorry about that. Not planned. We will not be live streaming after the EA event. Sorry that things happened, unless Nick and Goalie want to do it. But I think Nick has to go to work, and I think Goalie's got dog issues right now. So we got that going, and then when we won't be able to do PlayStation tonight afterwards. What we'll do is we'll do it probably tomorrow. So we stay posted to our Facebook page and to our website, and which is GameHounds.net, and we'll let you know when we start our E3 PlayStation, Ubisoft, and EA wrap-up tomorrow. And for those of you who were in the room, in the chat room, thank you so much for coming to the chat room multiple times when we are having technological issues. We appreciate it. So, Nick, I will talk to you tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And I know that Goalie's in the chat room. Goalie, I will talk to you tomorrow.
What time?
We don't know yet. We'll text. I'll text you, and we'll put it on the Facebook page and the website so you know.
Okay.
All right. So let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds E3 2014 Xbox Wrap-Up Part 2, because Part 1 forked on us, and Part 1.2 got erased. But anyway, if you want to get a hold of us, GameHounds.net is the website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. And, of course, please sign up for our Facebook page. We are under the GameHounds on Facebook. Sign up for that, and you will get notifications of when we go live. You will get notifications of all the latest news, and of course there's a lot of news this week. And Piss Boy is doing a really great job of putting all that news up as fast as it's coming out. So if you want to stay apprised of what's happening at E3, it's a great place to get it. You get push notifications on Facebook and know exactly what's happening because it pops up on your newsfeed. So that's it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you later, Nick. Bye.